JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You hate them? You love them? Or you don't know who they are? Well, if you're one of the last two, you're in the right place. And if you hate them, well, I hope you've come with an open mind. Because we are going to be going through JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Phantom Blood. It's the first in the series, and it's a classic. A lot of people don't really love this season. It's not their favorite, even their last favorite. I see a lot online, their tier lists and stuff. But I think this one stands up. We get the story of Dio, the story of Jonathan, we get their relationship. And, Dio comes up so much later on that I feel like knowing his backstory and knowing his relationship with the Joestars really helps you, be engaged with the bizarre adventure. But yeah, let's go through the manga. Let's see how good it is, and we'll analyze. If it ends up being fun, we'll give it a big thumbs up. If we end it and it was mid, we'll maybe give it a thumbs down. But I remember it being pretty good. So we are mainly going to be going through the manga. The manga has, a lot more information than the anime does. I may be showing clips from the anime just as comparisons or funny moments, but we'll mainly be showing stills and pages from the manga. So yeah, let's get this started. This story opens up with a prologue. We see a big man with a knife stabbing a woman. Not very fun. Blood is life. The demonic mask will come to life from blood of the living. Fresh blood of a maid will be absorbed by the mask. As the guy stabs the girl, blood splatters onto the mask that he's wearing. Love that mask, by the way. It opens up, stabs his head. Looks painful, but he seems okay. And we get some more lines. The man is still alive, even after being impaled by the mask claws like bones into its brain. So the mask we see is going to give this man eternal life. Very cool. And then he immediately stabs the man through the neck and absorbs his life force. Very fun Friday night, I assume, and everyone seems to be happy about it. We get some more narrator lines. 12th to 16th century BC, at the center of Mexico, where a powerful tribe dwells. A tribe known for its sacrificial rituals and cannibal traditions. Also known as the Sun People, Aztecs. Aztec mentioned. I think that's going to come up again. Blessed with the power of the stone mask, this tribe dominates the earth. The stone mask, it has granted them not only power, but eternal life as well. However, this tribe somehow vanished from history and left countless unknown ruins. Why? What happened to them? What's the secret surrounding the mask? This story depicts the mysterious stone mask from Mexico and its raveling of destinies of two youngsters and their bizarre adventures. Bizarre adventure mentioned? Narrator saying bizarre adventure in the first manga of the series. I love it. Yeah, so it seems like these stone masks is very important. It's in the prologue. Let's see how often this stone mask shows up, shall we? We see ourselves in a dirty home. We have Dario and Dio in a room. Dario's laying on his bed, and Dio is sitting by the fire. It seems that Dario is on his deathbed and is giving Dio a letter and is saying to go to this address. Dario then tells Dio about the story of how he saved George Joestar's life. Dario is walking one day when he comes upon a crashed carriage all on the ground there. And he wants to loot it. It's free money. The person who crashed obviously is pretty well off, and Dario's like, free cash. Let's go get it. We get this really gruesome picture of, I think this is the driver or the carriage conductor or whatever it's called. Gruesome. They also show this in the anime too, which they show a lot of really gruesome shots in this thing. So be warned. But yeah, Dario is looking upon all the stuff to loot. He's looking through the carriage, and he finds a stone mask. Whoa, did y'all miss the stone mask? Stone mask pack? Dario then comes upon a body on the ground and starts looting it. Takes the ring off. As he's doing that, the man wakes up and is none other than George Joestar. And in his daze, George thinks that Dario is trying to help him. It's first waking up. It looks like he's trying to help, even though he's literally trying to steal from him. The first thing George asks Dario is his wife and kids okay? But we already saw in the previous scene that the wife is dead, but we can hear the child calling in the background or crying in the background. So Dario tells him that the son's okay, but the wife is dead. George is very sad by this, but at least his child is okay after this terrible crash. George then wants to reward Dario for everything he's done. He ends up giving Dario a lot of money. Dario ends up opening up a hotel, but it goes under. Dario loses all his money, all the money that George gave him, and he ends up back and poor just as he was before he met George. But Dario still feels that George owes him. So he gives Dio the letter and saying to go to the George Joestar estate and to become a rich man. To take them all from his worth, do better than him, and he just croaks. Just like I said, next scene we see Dio at the grave. Dario Brando right there. As Dio is standing over his father's grave, we get one of the many and wonderful Dio monologues. Mother suffered because of you. You were scum. You want me to be rich? Your inheritance. I'll accept it. I will become rich and powerful, but not for you. He then spits on his father's grave. Very, very on brand for Dio. Yeah, Dio taking control of his own life. His father was a good for nothing, gave him nothing, obviously had a bad relationship with him, was mean to his mother, and he's going to take this opportunity, but do it for him, not for his father. Yeah, how are we feeling about Dio so far? Are we rooting for Dio, or is it like I don't know. I don't know how many people here don't know Dio's story yet, so we'll come into it blind. Go Dio. Glad you're taking life by the horns. The 19th century, the era of technology, advancements, and social change. Although famine and poverty still reign, everyone was given a dream to become rich. This type of gold rush swept through Europe like a hurricane. All right, opening back up, we see two men. Their proportions are a little bit weird. Bullying a girl. Stole her doll, and they're throwing it back and forth. But look who it is, coming to the girl's rescue. None other than our protagonist, Jonathan Joestar. But immediately, he comes up, trying to fight. He gets knocked to the ground, and gets beat up by the two kids. The bullies say the girl's name, Irina. I want us to remember that. I want to just, look at these proportions of these dudes right here. They're supposed to be high schoolers, or, I don't even know how old they're supposed to be, but it's they're so jacked. And I know that's going to be a theme throughout all the JoJo's, or most of the JoJo's, but it's just giving Tom from Finland. Super hyper-masculine, super Chad jawline. Okay, whatever. I just need to point that out now. So Jonathan gets up. He just got beat up. He's got some blood rolling down his nose. He brings out his handkerchief to wipe his nose, and it has his name on it. It's monogrammed. His handkerchief is monogrammed. And the bullies see that, and they know that he's from the Joestar estate just within view, over there, and they don't like that. They don't like rich people. They think that's bad, so they keep beating on him. It's not just because he's interrupting their bully session with Irina. They just want to kick his shit out of him now because he's a rich kid. So he gets 2 beatings for the price of 1. So the bullies have their way with Jonathan. They beat him up. And as Jonathan is getting up, the girl, Arena, comes up and tries to console him. Like, obviously, he came to help him. And Jonathan, like, slaps her hand away and gives this whole little monologue about, oh, I'm a gentleman, and a gentleman will do anything can't just stand by while a woman is getting beat up, and does the right thing regardless of him being outnumbered or anything. And it's like giving, like, oh, I didn't want to help you or anything, like, oh, it's not like I like you, like, gentlemen don't just sit and do nothing when a lady needs help. They must have the courage to help those in need, even if they are at a disadvantage. But yeah, after this monologue, Jonathan just walks moodily away from Arena. Oh, and look, he left his handkerchief on the ground. Oh, I wonder if we'll see that again. We get this sick establishing shot. Arena then has like a little monologue about Joseph and how honorable he is and how that didn't need to happen, but he's a gentleman, whatever. And then we get Jonathan arriving at his home, his big Joestar estate that we saw before, with the horse-drawn carriage arriving at the house. We get this sick horse shot. Like, I feel like I'm being run over by the horse carriage. Like, it's so, like, the faces of the horses. I love it. And then the carriage door opens, a briefcase comes flying out, and who other than Dio? Look at this. Oh my god, look at this entrance. We get the jump, we get the pose, we get those piercing eyes. Like, I know Dio's a controversial character, but there's moments like these where I just love him. Like he's doing like a Jonathan greets Dio, walks up to him. They have a nice, pleasant little interaction. Let's soak this in a little bit. I feel like we're not going to be having many pleasant Dio and Jonathan interactions. And just after they greet each other, we see a dog coming up. It is Jonathan's dog, Danny. It's a bit of a mouthful. He's like running towards him, and Jonathan tells Dio, like, oh, don't worry, he's my friend. He's just getting a little excited, but he won't bite you, don't worry. And then the dog comes up, and Dio literally, like, knees him in the head. Terrible. Terrible to see. I hate seeing animal abuse. And I was just rooting for Dio. I was just like, yes, go Dio. You're so cool. Reason why Dio sucks. Dio's the villain. JoJo, like, confronts Dio, like, why are you doing that? Which is, like, obviously the case. And Dio gives him, like, nothing. We do get a little monologue from Dio, though. Love to see it. So, this is the Joestar heir, the only son, JoJo. I'll psychologically torture him to the brink. Then I, Dio, will take his place as the heir to the Joestar estate. Okay, I know I'm like flip-flopping here, but I just love when Dio refers to himself as the third person. Like, he's like, I, Dio, and it's like, he's a teenager, and he's already giving supervillain, like, he's already, like, megalomaniac kind of vibes. Alright, so we jump into the estate. George is there to greet Dio. Calls Dio his son, so obviously George is holding up his deal with Dario and is taking the kid in, or Dio in, while he's in need. And then George tells JoJo not to care, to, like, let it go, like, oh, he was just probably startled from the dog. And even JoJo gives I guess that if a strange dog came up to me, I might act the same way. Like, the mental gymnastics here, but I think it's said in the manga that JoJo wants to just keep the peace. Like, they're living together now, like, try to be friends. Like, George said he wants Dio and JoJo to be friends. Like, JoJo's a good boy. He's trying to water under the bridge kind of thing. Dio then spots the mask on the wall. Mask. I love the mask. We get this sick little establishing shot of the entrance to their house with the big staircase, and JoJo, being the good boy that he is, wants to help Dio, grabbing his bags to help bring him up the stairs. Dio then, slaps his hand away and then gives this little, I'm the number one now, don't touch my stuff, keep your dog away from me. Just doing the pecking order right away. I'm number one, you're number two, don't mess with me. And JoJo just looks so disheartened. He's, on the bottom of the stairs, collapsed. And, he just wants to help. He wants to be a gentleman, and Dio won't even give that to him. We then get a shot to them in school, very quick. George is teaching Dio and JoJo is not doing well. He's apparently getting the same 6 problems wrong, which is either the teaching, you're not teaching very well, or JoJo is thick, which, it really could be either of the two. But just, Dio looks great, JoJo looks bad, and George is being an asshole to JoJo, which is kind of on theme, right? The Joestar family are having dinner, including Dio. He's part of the Joestar family now. And, JoJo's given, he's eating like a pig. He's just, aura eating kind of thing. And he's given, the crunch, munch, gulp, hump, scarf, as you will. As we all do when we are eating dinner. George doesn't like that, calling him, ungentlemanlike, which is, the biggest diss, I feel like, you could give to Jonathan. And tells him to go to bed without dinner. Get the hell out of here. And as he's leaving, Dio calls him an idiot. Classic. Just a perfect little scene. George scolding his son, Dio calling JoJo an idiot. Classic. Ever since Dio arrived, I realized that I've been spoiling you. Look at Dio. His table manners are perfect. JoJo gets sent to his room. He's feeling bad for himself on his bed. He says this little poem line. I don't know, I just want to read it for you. I'm so lonely. Will I die like this? In sorrow, soaked with tears. But I doubt anyone will shed any tears over my corpse. Maybe a sigh at most. I don't know, I've read this line a million times, and it just feels like he's like a tortured scene boy, or a little emo boy or something. I don't know. It's very cute. He has the picture of his dead mother there, looking all sad, feeling bad for himself. But then he finds some chocolate. Going chocolate mode. We get a new scene. We're outside now. We see 2 boys, boxing each other, fighting each other. We get a good old narrative exposition. Sports. 19th century sports. In a mental sense, they are rather different from those of today. Society and schools seek to train in sports rather than academics. It has surpassed mere entertainment and approaches religion. Thus, in this current age, the rules and techniques of sports are undergoing great development, causing them to grow in refinement. For each and every one of these children on the field, the winner was a hero. And note, we do have the narrator calling these men children, or these people children. So these are kids, they are young, but just look at Jonathan's arm. It's given I'm not, look at my arm compared to his. It's nothing. We then see Jonathan stringing up his gloves, and the announcer is announcing who his opponent is, and it is none other than Dio. Are we surprised by this? No, but I think it'll be interesting nonetheless. They end up doing a friendly little wager, a little gamble on whose face can get punched first. Dio puts in a lot of money, and JoJo, that's apparently all his money for the month, which is very interesting, him being a little rich kid and everything. I guess George gives a very strict allowance. The fight starts, we get a little ding. And JoJo just comes running right into him. He's punching, he's swinging, he's doing the aura. And Dio's just dodging every hit. He's swaying, he's missing it. Dio then very elegantly punches JoJo in the stomach, and then once again in the face. And to add insult to injury, Dio even, shoves his thumb into Jonathan's eye to, blind him, or just to, hurt him more, and ends up cutting him just on the upper cheek. So Dio wins. Dio, everyone is cheering for Dio. Dio. Dio does, the oddest thing. He, starts telling everybody that, to not trust JoJo, and, JoJo's a liar. And he ends up, as a little flourish, getting a firecracker from his pocket and just throwing it in the air. Very weird, but maybe that kind of stuff works for young boys kind of thing. We then get another classic Dio monologue. Love to see them. Isolation makes a man hollow. I'll make him a powerless fool. And eventually I'll rob him of everything. And when we grow up, I will even make his fortunes as successor of House Joestar mine. We get the new chapter opened. We're back at the Joestar estate. JoJo is searching for a watch. He can't find it. And then Dio appears in the background saying he took the watch. He's borrowing it. And just scurries off. And JoJo has a thought oh, I don't think I'm seeing that watch ever again. I also love the chapter image on this one. Just Dio is walking around the house. He sees the stone mask hanging on the wall from before. Love a stone mask. Love seeing the stone mask. George then gives Dio kind of a history lesson of how he got the mask. He got it from a gallery in London, and that must have been the same trip that he crashed in on the way back. And as Dio is looking and observing the mask, he sees writing on the back, Aztec writing, Aztec mentioned, which is not translatable right now. And then George asks Dio if he's interested in the mask. Dio says no. He just puts it back and he walks away. Very suspicious, very suspicious. We then cut to JoJo. He's chilling in a tree with Danny hanging out down below. He's also, smoking a pipe while he's up there, which, we've already established they're children. He's smoking a pipe. I don't know. I guess it's, the turn of the century, near the 1900s, so maybe this is more normal. And even as I'm saying this, Jotaro in part 3, infamously smokes cigarettes. He's smoking cigarettes all the time. But he's a delinquent. I don't know. Get some kids walking by JoJo, and JoJo shouts to them this weirdest line. It's come up here to hide and smoke pipe. So it's is it oh, we'll hide and then just smoke together? And you know what? Actually, that sounds kind of cool. The kids then give this weird oh, who's talking? Oh, I don't hear anything. And oh, let's not hang out with him. He's a snitch. And JoJo hears this and jumps down the tree and runs after them and be I'm not a snitch. Who told you this? And who else could it be but Dio? He ends up going into this big anger moment, pissed off at Dio, ruining his name, he's supposed to be honorable and being a gentleman. We got this classic Dio, mad at Dio, I'm mad at Dio. So as JoJo is feeling bad for himself, he hears a snap twig in the distance. Who is it other than Marina, the girl he helped before? She quickly leaves a basket on a tree and then runs off. JoJo goes up to the basket. He sees a bunch of grapes and the handkerchief that he dropped at the beginning of the scene. Guys, remember the handkerchief? That wasn't that long ago. And JoJo's happy. He's hey, I'll be here tomorrow if you want to come back. Like, let's, like, yeah. JoJo just yells, I'll be here tomorrow. Obviously a little happy that this girl is showing some interest in him. And the next scene, they're basically on a date. They cut right to the chase. Until now, JoJo has been kept down by misery and depression. But love, that lovely curiosity, set JoJo in motion. JoJo and the girl soon become fast friends, and he fell head over heels for her. It's a little weird that the narrator is calling her the girl, but I don't know, maybe JoJo doesn't even know her name right now. Like, I know we took note that the bullies know her name, but JoJo's also dense, so maybe he just never asked her name, and it's just their first date, and he has to be like a little like, what's your name again? Oh, yeah. Oh, speak of the devil, yeah. So it seems like, so JoJo's back eating dinner at the Joestar estate, and he's thinking like, oh, Arena, so that's her name. So he must have like learned it at the end of the date, or in the middle of their date. Whatever. Good you're getting a name. We then get this scene of JoJo running up to Arena, doing quick little date and run, just being like, bring your swim to the creek. We'll swim later. To be honest, kind of cute. Like, we know that Dio is after him. Dio wants him dead, and he's just trying to be careful. Like, very, very smart idea. JoJo and Arena are swimming in the lake, or the creek, or whatever. We then get this very weird scene where, like, JoJo grabs a frog, and is being like, oh, hey, do you like frogs? Do you like catching frogs? And Arena instantly runs away. She's like, ew, gross. But then he does like a save, like, oh yeah, I don't like frogs either, but it is fun to tie a string to their legs and spin them around. Like, what? I've never heard that before. Like, I'm thinking, like, even with JoJo doing some, like, suspicious stuff, we should start, like, a list. JoJo Dio bad boy list. And, like, let's put up, Dio, we can put up kicking a dog. JoJo, we can give, like, torturing frogs, possibly. We can start there. I'll put up other ones that I might have missed here that I'm forgetting. So, JoJo and Arena are done their swim. They're hanging out. And JoJo's carving on a tree. And Arena notices. And asks him, what's that? And Arena sees it and calls him dirty. Like, but I think it's kind of cute. Like, JoJo kind of being like, yes, I like you, and I'm letting everybody know. Wait, everybody know? I wonder if this will come back to bite him in the butt. So, the sun is setting, their date's over, JoJo is walking home, and Arena is also walking home as well. But someone was watching. None other than Dio. No! Why? Why does Dio have to be saying that? He's standing by the tree that JoJo carved the heart in. Obviously he knows. And he does not look like he has good thoughts right now. So Arena's walking by, and Dio literally waylays her and just kisses her. Like, steals a kiss, is assaulting her, basically. Not basically, he is assaulting her. And the shot, like the shot of them kissing, the hair, the look on Arena's face, it just hurts. One of the worst, like, not one of the worst things that Dio did, but a bad thing that Dio did. Putting that one up on the bad Dio list, please. So after the kiss, Arena collapses onto the ground, falls into a puddle. Sad. And then we get one of our good old monologues from Dio. So, did you kiss JoJo yet? Probably not. Your first wasn't JoJo, but it was I, Dio!
You thought your first kiss would be JoJo, but it was I, Dio!
It was I, Dio. It's like, he's doing the most terrible thing in the world to like, get back at JoJo or to put JoJo down a peg. And he does it, and he's so proud. He's so proud that he stole a kiss from this girl. It's like, so gross. So gross. Another classic monologue for Dio. We're getting a lot of these right now. I'll use any means available, as long as it gets results. Now she and JoJo are through. Even if she sees him, she'll get uncomfortable. Especially if she's been raised to be a lady. To create a desert in JoJo's heart, I won't let him have any friends or lovers. He will turn into a fool with nothing to live for. But then, just as Dio is finishing his monologue, they notice Arena is washing her mouth out and rubbing her mouth with the dirty puddle that she fell in. Disrespecting Dio, ew, I don't like your kiss means nothing. Dio gets pissed off and literally slaps her across the face. Rude. Putting that onto the evil deed list. Dio really racking him up this time. Physical assaults? Is that what it's called? And I love this shot from Arena, the glare, oh, I see through you, I don't care what you do. It's just it makes me love Arena so much. So, Arena was just assaulted, she's left crying in the puddle, and Dio's pride is hurt. He let his anger get the best of him, right? The small thing made him burst out, lose control to some extent. And we get this little line. Damn, what have I done? I just snapped. How dare she? A mere woman. We then see JoJo playing with Danny. They're playing this very weird, shoe catching game where they're he'll throw his shoe up in the air and then Danny will catch it and then put it back on JoJo's foot. Weird, but okay. And we get another shot of George and Dio sitting on the balcony watching Dio and Danny play. George then explains to Dio that Danny and JoJo are friends. And this seems to be a very confusing statement to Dio. A friend? Friends with dogs? A man can be friends with the dogs? And this, have you ever heard of man's best friend? Dogs is a man's best friend? I don't know. It seems very, very just shows how out of depth Dio is about some things. He's so within his own world, he doesn't even realize that you can have a friendship with an animal. But the fact that he knows this, oh, JoJo is friends with Danny, we already know Dio does not want JoJo to have any friends, so I feel this is going to be very bad. George then tells Dio about how JoJo got Danny. When they first met, Danny bit JoJo, and that made JoJo very, scared of Danny or not trusting of Danny. There's even this scene of him, throwing rocks at Danny, I guess as, boys will be boys, him teasing the dog, because he's scared of him. But it's that tied with the frog incident, I don't love it. So we'll put that on the JoJo list, maybe. I don't think that's going to be very high, but possible animal sus things. But then we get a scene where JoJo is drowning. He's having trouble swimming. He's obviously needing help. And who comes to the rescue? Danny. Danny comes jumping in, drags him back, saves JoJo's life, and it seems from then on they were friends. They realized the value of each other to some extent. And we even get a line from the narrator. With no reason or loyalty or duty, Danny came to rescue JoJo when he heard his cries. Is he not a splendid dog who knows the value of a life? Young JoJo was moved by Danny's feelings and actions, and they became friends. We then shoot back to the present, and we get this shot of Dio just with thoughts. He's thoughting over there a little bit. We get a new scene. We get JoJo walking on the street on a cloudy day, and he sees Arena. And he greets her, and she turns away and runs away. And he's so confused, why are you running away? Why are you doing this? And a group of boys, shout at him, yeah, and they're all we know why she's like this, but we're not gonna tell you. And he's, pissed off, what did you do to Arena? And he knows instantly that it was Dio. We then cut to JoJo running towards the estate, the Joestar estate, full of determination. And he goes into the room yelling, Dio! We got this big, cool, his Dio face. I love it. I love that one. But yeah, JoJo comes in, pissed off at Dio. We even get him saying straight towards Dio, I won't forgive you. You've been against me ever since you came here. I don't care what happens to me. Okay, so like JoJo is pissed. He's, going full gentleman, like you've crossed the line. Like you can pick on me, but you pick on Arena, that's the end of it. They then just break out into a fight. Dio immediately elbows JoJo's in the face and kind of digs it in a little bit. And he stumbles back, and he's looking a little disheartened. But then he thinks, but I can't afford to lose now. If I lose, I'll be living in Dio's shadow for the rest of my life. I have to fight in order to reclaim Arena's honor. This is JoJo's moment. Let's go! In this little calm in the middle of the fight, we get another classic Dio monologue. I'll beat him once and for all, fair and square. I'll teach him so his whole body remembers he can't beat Dio, in a fight or in life. They then begin the fight again. They start lunging at each other. Dio gets a swift kick in to his face, but JoJo powers through. He powers through. He grabs Dio across the face to close the gap. As JoJo is grappling Dio, JoJo does a big headbutt onto Dio. Even gets a little like aura action. Aura. And it looks like he's winning. He's getting a lot of hits on Dio. Dio's looking very disheartened, very like he's taking a beating a little bit. And then after the auras and after the punch, JoJo hits him with one final uppercut. And I just love, so like this is the start of the new chapter. I just love this shot of JoJo or Jonathan. Like whenever I'll tell people that I'm like rereading the manga, I'm like, wait, let me show you this scene right here. So JoJo gets that final uppercut onto Dio. Blood everywhere. And they're in the main hall with the mask. Blood gets on the mask. We already know what happens when the blood gets on. We get the little stabby face huggers happening. So that activates. Flies off the wall. We're kind of noticing it. I think we see JoJo notice the mask. As Dio stands up, we get a little line. How dare you do this to me? A dirty fool like you. And it's like he's actually crying during this scene. Like tears coming down his face. And like when I first read this, I'm like, oh, is this like, did Dio learn his ways? Does Dio feel bad? I guess he just got the shit kicked out of him. So like I'd be crying too, We then get George coming down to break up the fight to ask what happened. And we get a shot of Dio with a knife behind his back. So maybe those tears were really crocodile tears and he was just trying to lure JoJo in or something. So George ends up breaking up the fight. He ends up taking Dio's side, which is like, shocker, not shocker, because he only sees the end of the fight. Like, he only sees JoJo aura-oraing on Dio and thinking it's a one-sided fight and saying that Dio can't defend himself. Classic George, but it just sucks that it's like he's always taking Dio's side. Okay, scene over. We got a new scene. We have one of the butlers or servants, I think they called them servants, bringing some garbage out to the incinerator. As he's kind of dumping the garbage, he notices a big box in the incinerator, but he thinks nothing of it. He's just like, oh, someone wants to burn a box. He puts his garbage in, he lights a match, he throws it in, and the incinerator, like, he starts burning everything. Yeah, he thinks nothing of it. He lights the trash on fire. And then as he's walking away, he hears noises coming from inside the incinerator. Like that he locked and is on fire. And he thinks someone's stuck in there. Like, oh no, what's happening? The butler thinks that someone's in there. He opens up the incinerator. And Danny comes out, a flaming dog. And it's such a brutal scene. Like, Danny was already kicked in the face. And then now he's, like, on fire. It looks like his, like, jaw was, like, tied shut. It's just so sad to see. Short but heavy scene. That's over. We cut to JoJo walking down a road. He sees a crow cawing at him. And he does this most, like, bizarre thing where he, like, turns around and then, like, throws a rock under him towards the crow. And we get this line, "Look back towards it through your legs and throw a stone. That's how you escape a crow's curse." Okay, thank you, JoJo. I guess it was like a don't be jinxed kind of thing, but I have never heard of that one. That's a new one for me. Right after this happened, Arena is walking down the road as well. They make brief eye contact, but they both don't say anything. JoJo looks away, Arena keeps walking, and JoJo just feels so bad. Like there's been a rift that's like torn between them because of Dio. Like, it hurts to see. After the interaction with Arena and JoJo feels a bit disheartened. He's heading home, and he opens the door to his estate, and his dad and the butler that was in the scene before are sitting there, and they tell him that his dog died. They tell him that Danny dies, and it just shows them like standing at his grave. It's a really sad sight, and it happens so quickly too. George then consoles JoJo, saying that it could have been a robber or somebody. JoJo knows better. We know better. We know that it was Dio. I guess we know because we read it, but it's like, JoJo knows. All the bad things that are happening in his life is because of Dio. We then get a scene of JoJo in bed, crying about Danny. You know, to be honest, I'd be doing the same. We then cut to Dio, having another classic monologue. "Who thought he could explode like that? I underestimated JoJo. He's the type who grows the more he fights. I've dealt with the humiliation by getting rid of his dog, but my anger is my weak point. I'll have to do something about it. I need to control myself and be calm and composed." Now, 7 years passed. How has JoJo grown in his solitude? The stone mask waits in silence. So, 7-year time skip. We're getting a big jump in time. I think we're going to be taking a break there. We're going to cut it there. I will be back again with a part 2 to continue with this story. I just feel like this is a good breaking point. So I want to thank everybody for coming. This is very new for me. I'm still trying this. So if you have any tips, any advice, or even you want to talk JoJo, please leave a comment down below. And subscribe if you want. But keep an eye out for the next one. Goodbye.